Black people are a communal people, and white America has always feared what happens when we find each other. When I say black people thrive in community because it is in our DNA, I mean exactly what many black people understand that phrase to mean. We did not begin in America. Our history did not begin in chains. Our first community was not the plantation. Our first family structure was not slavery. Our first cultural experience was not Jim Crow. We come from African peoples who had already developed sophisticated systems of kinship, clan, lineage, elder authority, oral history, collective responsibility, music, dance, spirituality, and communal survival, long before Europeans decided to classify African human beings as property. Africa is not one country. African peoples are not culturally identical. Nobody is claiming that the Yoruba, Akan, Igbo, Mende, Congo, Wolof, and hundreds of other African peoples all lived exactly the same way. But we need to stop pretending that communalism is foreign to African history. It is not. Across numerous African societies, identity has historically been tied to family, lineage, clan, and community. African philosophical traditions such as Ubuntu are commonly understood through the principle that the human person exists in relationship with other human beings. I am because we are. That concept is almost the direct opposite of the dominant white American philosophy. I got mine. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Nobody helped me. My property, my house, my money, my children, my responsibility ends at my property line. Even contemporary psychological research recognizes this cultural difference. Family interdependence is routinely associated with collectivist cultures and racial and ethnic minority populations in the United States, while preference for independence from family is characteristic of individualistic cultures. European Americans are treated in that literature as a prototypical example of American cultural individualism. So, when black people say community is in our DNA, we are not asking white academics for permission to understand our own cultural inheritance. We know what we mean. We mean that somehow, after being kidnapped from Africa, packed into ships, deliberately separated from people who spoke our languages, renamed, sold, raped, beaten, and legally prohibited from controlling our own families, we still found a way to become a people. That did not happen accidentally. The slave master understood the power of black community before America admitted it. Think about slavery from the perspective of the enslaved instead of the enslaver. You are taken from Africa. You may be separated from your ethnic group. The person next to you may not speak your language. Your African name is taken. Your religion may be prohibited. Your child can be sold. Your husband can be sold. Your wife can be sold. Your mother can disappear. You are legally property. What is the first thing black people do? We start rebuilding human relationships. We make family out of people who are not biologically related to us. We create aunties. We create uncles. We create brothers. We create sisters. We create other mothers for children whose mothers have been sold. And before somebody dismisses that as romanticized history, look at Black America right now. In 2026, Pew Research Center found that Black Americans remain especially likely to rely on extended family. 34% of Black adults said they were extremely or very likely to turn to a grandparent for emotional support, compared with only 15% of non-Black adults. Black adults were also more than twice as likely as non-Black adults to say a grandparent frequently turned to them for emotional support, 21% versus 9%. That's 2026. After hundreds of years in America, after integration, after suburbanization, after television, after the internet, after black people were repeatedly told to assimilate into mainstream American culture. We are still doing it. Grandma is still not just grandma. Auntie may not be your biological auntie. Your mother's best friend may have authority to correct you. The woman next door may have watched you when your mother worked. Your cousin may not actually be your cousin. Black people know exactly what play cousin means. White America laughs at these terms because it frequently sees family through legal and biological categories. We understand something different. Kinship can be created. Our ancestors had to understand that. Because white people kept selling our biological kin. They tried to erase Africa, so our ancestors hid Africa in plain sight. This is the part I wanted centered. Our ancestors were not stupid. They understood surveillance. They understood that the slave master was listening. They understood that open resistance could mean torture or death. So black people became experts at communicating around white people. Music, rhythm, dance, storytelling, spiritual practices, call and response, body movement, food, folklore, the ring shout, African musical elements including polyrhythm, syncopation, and call and response survived in the Americas, and enslaved black Americans combined movement, music, and Christian hymns in the ring shout. The Smithsonian's Slavery and Remembrance Project explicitly documents these African continuities in diaspora culture. The slave master could hear black people singing. That did not mean he understood everything black people were saying. And black people need to understand the brilliance of our ancestors. Our culture survived because everything did not require white comprehension. A rhythm could survive. A movement could survive. A story could survive. A way of calling and answering could survive. A grandmother could tell a child something. That child could tell another child. A recipe could survive without being written. A spiritual practice could change names and survive. An African practice could put on Christian clothing and survive. Black culture learned how to hide in the body. So yes, when I say community is in our DNA, I am talking about an ancestral inheritance so deep that slavery could not beat it out of us. America separated us. We regrouped. America sold our children. We created extended family. America prohibited our traditions. We put tradition into music. America monitored our speech. We created ways of speaking. America still copies and then pretends it invented. America told us we had no history. We told stories. We danced. We sang. We remembered. White America had the luxury of becoming individualistic. Here is where the societal difference matters. White Americans were building a society in which whiteness increasingly gave them access to institutions. Property law protected them. Courts recognized them. Banks served them. Police protected their communities. Government recognized their citizenship. Universities educated them. Employers hired them. Unions often represented them while excluding black workers. Housing policy helped many white families accumulate property. So white people could say, "I don't need anybody." Of course you could. You had the institution. Black people frequently had the community because the institution was the enemy. When the bank would not lend to us, we pooled money. When white churches segregated us, we built black churches. When white schools excluded us, we built schools. When white colleges excluded us, we built HBCUs. When white insurance companies did not adequately serve us, we built mutual aid societies. By 1800, free black communities had already established African churches and mutual aid societies in Philadelphia, New York, Baltimore, and Boston. The Smithsonian documents black communities deliberately moving together and constructing supportive institutions. Do you see the pattern? White America creates an institution. Black people are excluded. Black people create a community solution. White America becomes suspicious of the black community solution. That pattern runs throughout American history. White America does not hate community. It hates black community it cannot control. We need to stop saying white America is anti-community. That is not completely accurate. White people form groups constantly. Country clubs, homeowners associations, fraternities, sororities, police unions, churches, private schools, gun clubs, militias, motorcycle clubs, political organizations, heritage organizations, gated communities. White people absolutely understand tribalism. They simply use more respectable language for their tribes. 5 black boys standing on a corner are a gang. 5 white boys in matching tactical equipment are a militia. Black men protecting a neighborhood are armed radicals. White men protecting property are patriots. Black people create an organization based on racial solidarity, and America asks, "Why are you dividing the country?" White people created an entire country in which citizenship, property, voting, and legal personhood were organized around whiteness and called it America. This is why we have to look critically at the word gang. Let us talk about black gangs without performing respectability politics? No, I am not going to tell black mothers who have buried children that gang violence is harmless. It isn't. I am not going to pretend innocent black people have not been killed. They have. I am not going to romanticize young black men shooting other young black men. That is destruction. But I'm also not going to accept white Americans' explanation that black gangs exist because black people are naturally criminal. That is historically illiterate. The National Youth Gang Center's law enforcement data have reported gang membership as approximately 46% Hispanic or Latino, 35% black, 11% white, and 7% other groups. White America sees that 35% black number and says, see? Black culture. My question is, what happened to black communities before those children joined gangs? Because gang research does not identify a mysterious black violence gene, the developmental pathways researchers examine include family, school, peers, and neighborhood or community conditions. A gang offers something. That's why children join. Brotherhood, protection, identity, recognition, status, a name, a history, symbols, colors, territory, ritual, initiation, collective identity, economic opportunity. Someone who says, you belong to us. Now tell me, that doesn't sound like a corrupted community structure. The gang did not invent the black desire for collective belonging. The gang walked into a community where legitimate structures had been systematically weakened and said, we can give you community. That's the tragedy. And America helped create the conditions. White America wants to discuss the black gang, beginning with the black teenager holding the gun. We need to move the timeline backward. Move it back to slavery. America governed black people through violence. Whipping was violence. Rape was violence. Forced family separation was violence. Slave patrols were violence. The auction block was psychological violence. After slavery came racial terror. The Equal Justice Initiative has documented more than 4,400 racial terror lynchings of black people between 1877 and 1950. EJI also documented at least 2,000 black women, men, and children killed in racial terror lynchings during the 12 years of Reconstruction alone. Think about that. White America used collective violence against black people, not one white person. Mobs, groups, posses, slave patrols, clans, police departments, National Guards, organized white citizens. The violence against us was frequently communal violence. Then white America turned around and pathologized black collective behavior. The people who created the lynch mob became terrified of the black gang. Why? Because historically, the black person was supposed to experience violence. We were not supposed to organize around protection. When black community becomes successful, America has a history of attacking it. Tulsa. Let's talk about Greenwood. Black people built a prosperous black community in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Businesses, homes, cultural institutions, economic networks. What happened? On May 31st and June 1st, 1921, white mobs attacked black residents, homes, businesses, and institutions in Greenwood. The Library of Congress documents the destruction of Black Wall Street. Why wasn't Greenwood celebrated as the American dream? Black people were doing exactly what America claims to respect: working, building businesses, owning property, creating wealth, supporting each other, but they were doing it together. Black communal success exposes the lie that black failure is caused by black inferiority. If black people can build thriving communities while facing racial exclusion, then America has to explain why it repeatedly puts obstacles in our way. So black success had to be reframed as threat. We see the same anxiety with black political organization. The Black Panthers are one of the clearest examples. White America wants you to remember the guns. Black men, afros, leather jackets, rifles. That's the image. What are we encouraged to forget? Free breakfast for children, sickle cell anemia screening, legal aid, adult education. The National Archives itself documents that the Black Panther Party provided these services, while also documenting that the organization was targeted by the FBI's COINTELPRO program and state and local law enforcement. The FBI's own archives preserve the COINTELPRO files concerning so-called black extremists. Ask yourself a serious question. Why was the American government so concerned about black people organizing? Yes, the Panthers were armed. But America has never been uniformly terrified of armed groups. America's relationship with armed groups changes dramatically depending on who is armed and what they are organizing against. A black organization feeding children, educating adults, screening black people for sickle cell disease, and monitoring police behavior was building something dangerous to white power: black institutional independence. That's the threat. Now look at what America does to black neighborhoods: build a black community. A highway comes through it. Create a business district. Urban renewal destroys it. Develop political leadership. Surveillance follows. Build wealth. Redlining restricts it. Organize against police violence. The organization becomes a threat. This is not a conspiracy theory. The federal government now funds programs specifically designed to reconnect communities damaged by transportation infrastructure. The Department of Transportation has acknowledged projects that eliminated historic black neighborhoods, such as Atlanta's Buttermilk Bottom and Butler Street. Federal documents also acknowledge that construction of I-496 and urban renewal displaced more than 600 black families in Lansing, Michigan. America literally cut roads through black communities. Then America looked at the fragmented neighborhoods and said, "Why is there no sense of community?" You bulldozed it. And then you criminalized the children standing in the remains. Chicago gives us a perfect modern example. The Chicago Police Department's gang information system became so racially skewed that an audit found approximately 95% of the more than 134,000 people listed were black or Latino. Think about the power of the label, gang member. Once America puts that label on a black child, everything changes. His friendships become suspicious. His neighborhood becomes suspicious. His clothing becomes suspicious. His social media becomes suspicious. His grief becomes suspicious. His language becomes suspicious. His proximity to other black boys becomes suspicious. Research and litigation over gang databases have repeatedly raised concerns about racial profiling, inaccurate information, and the lack of meaningful ways for people to challenge their designation. Research reported in 2024 also found that eliminating gang databases in Portland and Chicago did not produce the crime increase defenders of those databases predicted. So now ask the question from the black perspective. How many black boys have been viewed as a gang simply because white institutions do not understand black communal relationships? Black boys grow up together. Their mothers know each other. Their grandmothers know each other. They went to elementary school together. They call each other brothers. One dies. The others memorialize him. They gather. They wear shirts with his face. They post his name. They grieve collectively. And an institution already trained to see black male collectivity as dangerous may look at that grief and see gang intelligence. That is the danger of white institutions interpreting black culture without understanding black people. The black gang is demonized because America refuses to examine what the gang is replacing. A gang should never be the strongest community institution available to a black child. But for some black children, what is the alternative? The recreation center closed. The school is under-resourced. The neighborhood lost businesses. Dad is incarcerated. At mid-year 2023, the jail incarceration rate for black U.S. residents was 552 per 100,000, 3.6 times the white rate of 155 per 100,000. Mom is working. Grandma is raising children again. The church may no longer have the same influence it once had. The police are not experienced as protection. Then an older black boy says, "Little bro, we got you." White America hears gang recruitment. The black child may hear family. That's the conversation we are afraid to have. Again, the violence is wrong, but the need being exploited is real. The gang understands something America refuses to understand about black children. They need to belong somewhere. White America individualizes white violence and collectivizes black violence. A white man commits mass murder. We investigate his childhood, his mental health, his romantic failures, his internet history, his isolation, his relationship with his mother. Whether he was bullied, we get a psychological profile. He gets to be an individual. A black teenager shoots another black teenager. Suddenly we're discussing black culture, black fathers, black mothers. Rap music. The black community. Black on black crime. The white offender is a person. The black offender is evidence. That is the racial difference. And this is why white America demonizes the black gang differently. The black gang becomes useful evidence for the argument that black people are inherently dysfunctional. Because if America admits that black gang formation is connected to concentrated poverty, neighborhood disinvestment, segregation, historical trauma, disrupted kinship, over-incarceration, and the destruction of black institutions, then America becomes part of the crime scene, and America does not want to be investigated. Black people have always found each other. This is why I say it is in our DNA. Take us from Africa. We find each other on the plantation, sell our families. We create fictive kin, free us with nothing. We create mutual aid societies, exclude us from churches. We build black churches, exclude us from colleges. We build HBCUs, exclude us from business districts. We build black business districts, terrorize us in the South. We create the Great Migration and rebuild black communities in Chicago, Detroit, Harlem, and elsewhere. Attack our neighborhoods. We organize civil rights movements, police our communities. We create black political organizations, destroy community institutions. Our children still find groups. And sometimes, tragically, those groups become gangs. The black gang is not evidence that community failed. It is evidence of what can happen when the need for black community survives, but the healthy institutions designed to hold that need are weakened or destroyed. America wants us to condemn the gang member without asking what he was searching for. I want us to ask, was he searching for protection? Was he searching for brothers? Was he searching for a name? Was he searching for identity? Was he searching for people who would notice if he disappeared? Was he searching for somebody to say, "You are one of us"? Because black people understand the power of those words. Our ancestors survived because somebody looked at another enslaved black person, possibly from another African people, possibly speaking another language, possibly with no biological relationship to them, and decided, "You are one of us." White supremacy spent centuries trying to separate us, and black history is the story of us repeatedly finding each other again. That is what I mean when I say community is in our DNA. And perhaps white America demonizes black community because history has taught it a very uncomfortable lesson. Isolated black people can be managed. Organized black people change America.